just co-workers. You got to keep it at that type of relationship, because people be trying to get information on you. They trying to find out your life, and a lot of them people, they be jealous. Like, definitely if you got something going on outside of work and work is all they got going, they be hating on you about that. So don't tell them about anything good that's happening in your life, that you finna hit the lotto, that you finna find another job, that you finna, better yourself, you finna start doing another career or going to school for this. Cause boy, they gonna sabotage you. They gonna sabotage you. Some people, they be mad because they ain't got the thrive or the fight to be able to try to do something better in their life, and they know that this is the end goal for them. So when you go to talk about positive stuff that's going, get you to the next level, get you up out of this job, they don't like that. Sometimes they want to get you up out of the job before you even get to that goal. Because they like, yeah, now what you going to do now? Now you stranded. And the main ones to watch out for is the ones that was a regular employee like you, and then they get promoted. They change. Really, they was already changed, because them be the brown noses. They be the ones that be kissing ass. They be just kissing ass. And then once they get promoted and they get that little power, boy, they be trying to take advantage of it. They be trying to take advantage of it. The whole time, they'll be trying to act like they cool with you, but behind your back, they throwing salt all on your name, trying to get you fired, trying to get you rolled up and all that there. So be careful. Just come in here, make your money, take your ass home. These people is not your friends. They not your friends. Like I say, a lot of them, they be jealous of you. Definitely if you got something else going on outside of the job. Some people, this is their whole life. That's why you will have the people that been at a job 20, 30 years, and they just be stuck in their ways. And most of them don't get promoted. They just be a follow the leader type person. And if you ain't coming in there with that same mentality, they don't like that. They hate a strong mind. They hate a strong mind. So like I say, don't trust nobody at your job. They not your friends. They not your friend.
Never ever, and I repeat, never share any personal details about you to any coworker. You do not know what their motives are at the end of the day for them asking this information from you. These people are not your friends. It's like a forced environment with people, right? They're not friends that you're actively choosing. Yeah, you happen to be in the same environment, but you just don't know where these people's heads are at when you are sharing information about yourself, or if they're asking information. You just kind of want to be a little wary, a little careful about what you give away. You just don't know if these types of people are looking for something to use against you in the future. If they're using that as like some way, like, oh, maybe that's why she's messing up at work, because she's going through this at work, right? And therefore, they'll tell management. You just don't know what they have against you. Be very vague when you share anything. There's people that are looking for your downfall in a coworker situation. And I'm not saying for everything, okay? But just to keep yourself just safe from any possible bad situation, keep everything on lock. Like, do not tell anybody anything about you. Do your job, get in, get out. That's it. Want to be friends with your coworkers? I get that, but just keep it very superficial. You don't need to let them know anything right away. Just because you don't know what people's motivations are and their intentions are, and you just don't know if they have evil eye for you, they want you out of the company and they're pretending to be your friend. Don't trust people so easily in a coworker situation. You just don't know who they are at the end of the day. Make sure that you're tracking and documenting everything that you're doing, because some of these people will say that you didn't do something, report that to management, and who knows, maybe they've been there for a long time and they take their word over yours. So always document everything. Don't share anything with a coworker. You will just protect yourself at the end of the day, and that's all you need to worry about.
Here's why you shouldn't become friends with your coworkers. I had a friend who worked with a team of 4 other people, and the 4 other people got laid off. So my friend texted the group chat and was like, hey, how are you guys doing? Here's some jobs, let me know if you need anything. Now, over the course of this month, they're complaining about the bosses they didn't like, or just complaining about the organization and how they did things, and the way that this layoff went down. My friend is participating in the conversation because she's also annoyed by how everything went down. Specifically, they all had this one boss who they just had a hard time with. My friend said that the boss was nice seemingly, but could be difficult to follow sometimes, and seemed to lose her train of thought very often, and it was just very confusing to work for this woman. So one day, a month after the layoffs, that same boss starts acting really weird. So then my friend got called into a meeting with HR and that person's boss. So naturally she's like, oh my God, it's a second round of layoffs. I'm going to be next. I'm going home. So she gets into this meeting, and it's like at like 7:30 a.m. or like a ridiculously early time. She gets into the meeting, and then HR is like, "Hey, we got wind of a text message that you were on, and granted, it was on your personal phone, but we got wind of this text message you were on, and we want to know if you can explain what you were saying in these text messages." So HR begins to like read line by line everything that my friend had been saying in these messages and asks her to explain each and everything. So like, remember my friend's boss, who everybody had trouble with, could be like forgetful sometimes. So my friend said that she would often call her Dory in these text messages because she was so forgetful. So HR is like, so you called X, Y, and Z Dory. What did you mean by that? So of course my friend's wondering like, okay, who gave you guys these text messages? Because at this point it's one of the people. Just be careful out here. Don't trust people. Nothing's safe. Not even your personal phone.
Your coworkers are not your friends. Stop talking to them about your personal business or what you got going on in your life. Some people are monitoring spirits and they just want to know what you got going on to see if you're doing better than them. Don't tell your coworker you just got a new car or your boss, because your boss has power over you. Your boss could cut your hours right after you tell him you got a new car just to be on some hater shit. That's how fucked up some of these people are in the head nowadays. You know what I mean? So I would be very careful with who you call friend at work, because 9 times out of 10, that friend would backdoor you to better their position at that job.
You are at that job to collect a check and to build potential relationships for your career moving forward. You are not there to make friends. You might find you a good homegirl that you could sit and have lunch with. You might find you somebody cool. They might be cool enough to hit the bars up with. You know, nobody at the job is cool enough to know your personal business, things having to do with your marriage, things that you're going through with your children. They should not know you like that. They should not know where you stay. Only person that needs to know where you live is HR. They should not be up in your home. They should never see you intoxicated. Hello, company Christmas party, baby, that's a spy job. They're on an operation because they know when the liquor get to flowing, the lips get to going. Okay, and they listening. They listening for points and keys and things that they can use later. And if they're ever under the impression that you don't need the job, be prepared to lose the job. 100%. Jobs thrive on corporate. Yeah. Unfortunately, if you're not willing to yourself out for the job, you don't have a long life there. They want people that are financially desperate. They want people that are literally work is life. And if that's not you, don't prepare for it to have any sort of longevity. No. It's never shocking to me that when it comes time for somebody to be on the chopping block, if it's between you and another person, they're going to choose the one that's more desperate for the job. If they know that you're not desperate for the job, they're going to make sure the other person stays and you go. 100%. If they're the type of company that they want people there butts in seats, they want to monitor you, they want to see you every day, they want to make sure you don't have no emergencies, screw your kids, screw your family, screw your health. They want you there sick, damn near dead, different, right? And if you want a type of people that takes days off, and the whole culture of the building, they don't take days, be prepared to lose their job. Mm-hmm.
Never trust your co-workers. You know, when people turn around and go, I love my co-worker. No, you don't. No, you don't. Give it a rest. You don't. Oh, but we're like a family. Drop it. You're not a family, because they will throw you under the bus because you are in a financial driven, hyper competitive, situational relationship.
Yeah.
That they will turn on you in a heartbeat. Oh no, but we go out for drinkies with the girly poos. Yeah, whatever, you know, you do you. So when you realize that, I think you just get a better perspective of life, and you're kind of like, okay, I'll start making better decisions, because that's what it is. Choices. Life is a sequence of choices. You make good ones, you make bad ones. That's it.
All right, so this is a story on why you should not make friends at work. So when I was 19, I was working at a restaurant, right? And like, it was a couple of girls working there, and I made friends with this girl. She was 26, which it was a weird age gap because I felt like I was more mature at 19 than she was at 26. But anyways, we was working at the restaurant. I used to come in late sometimes. She would come in late. A couple of girls would come in late. So our manager eventually said, like, oh, if y'all keep coming in late, we're going to write y'all down and eventually you'll get fired. So I took it serious because I was like, all right, you know, I don't want to lose my job right now. So I started, like, taking time out, like, aside to get breakfast or get lunch and, you know, lounge before I enter work because, you know, you can't eat on the floor, and, you know, I just wanted to take that time out for myself. So she said she was gonna do the same thing because, it's the smart thing to do. So this is like the first thing that happened that made me think like, can I really be friends with this girl? Like it was really a red flag. So I was on my way to work and I stopped by the pizza shop like up the block to get pizza and to, sit down before going to work. And she called me and she's like, "Oh, Aisha, where are you?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm at the pizza shop, like I'm by the restaurant." And she's like, "Oh, I'm not gonna lie, like I'm not in the mood right now. Like I don't even want to be here. My energy's down." She said something like, "Oh, could you do me a favor, like a huge favor?" And I'm like, "Yeah, what? What's up?" And she's like, "Oh, do you mind getting me Starbucks?" And like the time that it was like I think like around 3 o'clock, and like the area is just like so packed with people. It's the meat packing district, so if you know, it gets super packed by tourists. So I was already like, I don't want to do this, but we just started becoming friends, so let me just do this favor. So I go to Starbucks and it's packed like what I imagined, and I'm already on time, so I'm about to be late. And I called her, I'm like, "Hey, what do you want?" And she says she wants a pineapple refresher. And madam, like, "Girl, what you mean? Like, you so tired? Like, then get coffee." But whatever. So I got her the pineapple refresher, went to work. I was late at work. People already looking like, "Oh, you late?" Like, because you shouldn't be late. And then it's awkward. Like, the walkthrough was already like, everyone has to see you walk through. So I give her the coffee, I mean, the refresher. And then she's like, she takes one sip and she's like, "I'm not gonna lie, like I don't even want this. Like it's not my type. Like or it's not like the type of flavor I want. I didn't know it was gonna taste like this." And then she puts it down, and she's like, "Do you want it?" And I'm like, "No, I don't want it." And then she says, "Okay, so I'm just gonna throw it in the garbage because it doesn't make any sense." So she throws it in the garbage, which I low key felt like that was disrespectful. But I'm like, whatever. So she throws it in the garbage, and I told her, I'm like, "Bro, you made me wait in line to get this coffee. I came to work late, and you didn't even want it." She's like, "I'm sorry." And then, like, she laughed, and I'm like, "All right, whatever. It's not big of a deal. You know." So then, like, the next week, we was on the schedule for the same day, and she calls me right before my shift starts, and she's like, "Oh, Aisha, where are you?" And I was like, "I'm about to walk to the building." Like I was literally walking to the building, and she's at work. That's that's what's blowing me. So she's like, "Oh, do you mind getting me?" And then she says like some food. She's like, "Do you mind getting me?" And I'm like, "No, like I'm not about to turn around in my tracks to get you food because you didn't like take the time off to get yourself food." I was like, "Honestly, Jasmine," yeah, I'll say her name. I'm like, "Honestly, Jasmine, like not right now because like I'm about to be late." And she was like, "Really? Like really you can't get me out of that?" And I was like, "Honestly, no." Cause it's like that's so selfish. How you asking me to get you food? You could have got yourself food before you clocked in. So I go to work, and then I say hi to the girls and whatever. And then when it's time for me to say hi to her, she like turns around and then she rolls her eyes. She literally goes like this. And then she like keeps going on about her day. Like she like ignores me the whole day. And literally I'm thinking, all right, so we're not friends anymore. Like, it is what it is. This girl, at the end of the night, she's gonna be like, I don't like when we I don't like when we argue, or I don't like when we fight. Why are we fighting? I'm like, "Girl, like what are you talking about?" Oh my god, I couldn't even do anything but laugh. But at the time, I was just like, "Come on, like that's not funny. Like you literally didn't talk to me all day because you're tight that I didn't give you food." And she was like, "No, I thought you was mad. That's why." And I was like, "All right." But no, this girl is literally crazy. And then for that situation, she did call me selfish one day for that. But whatever. We had like a rocky relationship, whatever. And then eventually I had to cut this girl off because she was moving crazy. But that's my story on why I do not trust coworkers. That already scarred me like when I was 19, and like I'm already scarred for the rest of my life now. Do not trust coworkers. Keep your personal life and then your private life totally separate. You do not have to make friends at work. You can, but don't go out of your way to do it. Yeah.